live. Late breaking. WESH 2 News Sunrise on CW18 starts now.
This morning, a bridge collapsed, sending everyone who was driving on it plunging into the water. The rescue mission that's happening right now in Baltimore.
Plus, a change in how schools let parents know when their child misses class. The new alerts parents will get starting today.
And the Supreme Court could limit access to a commonly used abortion pill. Why this could have far-reaching consequences for reproductive rights and other medications. It's 8 o'clock. I'm Sheldon Dutez.
And I'm Sonica Dange. We'll get details of the warm-up and the mix of some showers happening this week in just a moment. But first, what is going on in Sumter County this morning?
There's a bad crash along I-75, been going on since about 4 o'clock, and it is still blocking all the lanes except the left lane. This is in Bush now, so really southernmost part of Sumter County heading towards the turnpike. So expect some delays there this morning. Kellyanne, though, looks like a sunny start to our Tuesday.
It's pretty nice outside and very comfortable as well. And this afternoon is going to be beautiful with our temperatures reaching the 80s. Finally, some sunshine in New Smyrna Beach, Ponce Inlet, though we still have a little bit more cloud cover off towards our east, but it's comfortable. We're almost at 70 degrees in Daytona Beach and New Smyrna Beach, and we are at 70 degrees in Titusville, even warmer in Melbourne at 72 degrees. So a few clouds across our east coast. Other than that, we are sunny and dry this morning, and we'll continue that going into the afternoon hours with temperatures by peak heating, 3 o'clock. Reaching the 80s. Then tomorrow we track rain. We'll have much more of those details coming up in a few minutes. First, though, let's get back to Megan with the check on the roads.
Kelly, good morning. As I mentioned, I'm monitoring that crash along I-75 northbound in Sumter County. Looks like it is almost clear, though. Those crews are actively removing those cones, and looks like traffic is now starting to use the right 2 lanes. The 2 semi-trucks involved in this crash have cleared, and those crews are working to pick up all those cones. So if you're traveling this way, still expect some delays. It does stretch for a couple of miles heading towards the turnpike, but as we move into the 9 o'clock hour, this should be getting a lot better. This is a look at the map here showing those backups, but as I mentioned, slowly improving. I'll be keeping my eye on that, and we'll check in with some travel times in a few minutes.
All right, we are staying on top of breaking news this morning from Baltimore, where a major bridge collapsed into the river.
Crews are searching for many people believed to have fallen in the water. We have WESH 2's Meredith McDonough in studio with us. Mayor, that bridge was hit by a ship, and the video is just unbelievable.
Sonica, it really is. Take a look here. This is video of the bridge going down. You can just see the devastation here. And really, it just dissipates right out of the night sky. Local agencies started getting 911 calls around 1:40 this morning after a Singapore-flagged container ship, the Dolly, rammed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Now, the ship bound for Sri Lanka reportedly hit one of the supports. Now, several vehicles were on the bridge at the time, including one the size of a tractor trailer when it collapsed. Now, so far, 2 people have been rescued out of the water. One of them was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The other person is expected to be okay. Officials say they're still searching, though, for at least 7 other people, but that number could grow.
This is a very large incident. It involves a very large footprint. Multiple agencies are operating. Therefore, information is subject to change as we get more intel and as our crews work through the morning.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg releasing a statement this morning offering the U.S. Department of Transportation support as officials vow to look into the condition of the bridge before its collapse. A reminder, though, officials say that no casualties have been confirmed as of this hour. We are monitoring, though, any and all updates this morning, and we'll bring you the very latest information once we receive it. Sheldon?
All right. And right now there is a nationwide search that's happening for 3 girls who were reported missing from North Carolina who may be here in Central Florida. We've got their pictures pulled up for you right now so you can see what they look like. It's been more than a week since these girls were last seen. 2-year-old Jacqueline, her sister Justice, 6-year-old Summer. They all might be with their mom, 28-year-old Alexis Baker. Police say that they may be traveling in a silver 2018 Honda Civic with a Texas license plate, RFP 9721. If you have any information, please call the Orlando Police Department.
This week, parents in Osceola County are getting new alerts, letting them know if their child is absent from school.
WESH 2's Tony Atkins reports those news alerts are going out earlier. Orange County leaders will decide today if the county will end up paying a big bill for the One Pulse Foundation. That money would pay off the taxes that it O's on a building.
We've got WESH 2's Bob Hazen joining us in studio this morning. And now, Bob, that building was supposed to be a museum honoring those lives lost during the attack.
Yeah, that's right, but it never came to be, and the foundation is now out of money and dissolving. So Orange County leaders say they need to pay this bill that's more than $50,000.
Today, the Supreme Court is hearing arguments in a case that could have a significant impact on abortion access.
The pill mifepristone has been around for decades. A lawsuit is challenging the FDA's power to make it easier to get the abortion pill. The drug makes up nearly 2/3 of abortions in the United States, and the case is specifically trying to roll back changes made in 2016 and 2021 that allow it to be prescribed through telemedicine or sent by mail. Some drug makers saying that they worry the case could set a precedent for more legal challenges to the FDA approvals.
More Americans are expected to land in Orlando today, in the latest group to be rescued from the violence in Haiti. 10 adults and 4 children landed at Orlando International Airport around 8:30 last night. Some of them left their businesses, their homes, their loved ones back in Haiti in search of safety. The Florida Division of Emergency Management says the evacuees are from Miami. So far, at least 62 people have been flown to Florida since last week. One of the biggest challenges for a mission like this is rescuing people from an area that they're not familiar with.
Those contractors that are on the ground are doing the best that they can. They are not necessarily familiar with the streets of Haiti and Port-au-Prince, so logistical challenges, transportation challenges are all issues that we will continue to face as we move on.
State officials say they are focusing on U.S. citizens who have a tie to Florida, but they won't say no to any Americans. The state says the goal is to fly people out every day. A Florida scholarship program is seeing new changes.
Yeah, and it will help more students get set for the future. How the Bright Futures Scholarship Program is evolving to help young Floridians.
Plus, many people have been priced out of the housing market. The push to cut housing costs and keep the American dream alive.
First warning weather on CW18 is sponsored by Ox Floors.
All right, we're staying on top of this breaking news story out of Baltimore, where this bridge collapsed, a high traffic bridge that so many people in that region travel every day. So far, 2 people have been rescued from the water. One of them went to the hospital with serious injuries. Officials have not confirmed any deaths at this hour, but you can imagine just everything that's happening right now in that area and the residual effects of this on the morning commute this morning. This is something that we are continuing to keep an eye on. That container ship that you see there crashed into a pylon for the bridge, sending the bridge and the cars that were driving on it plunging into the river below. All right, there's about 2 months left until the start of this year's hurricane season, and meteorologists and weather experts from all over the country are in Orlando this week for the National Hurricane Conference.
This is at the Rosen Center, and it's helping put together plans ahead of the next big storm. Yesterday, meteorologist Marquise Mita explored how model building codes, retrofitting programs, and a culture of disaster resilience are creating a ripple effect, positively impacting the health of the insurance marketplace. And when disaster does strike, it is important to look at the local level for guidance on when to safely evacuate to ensure the best shot at success. Our first warning weather team will be at the National Hurricane Conference, and we're going to be having live coverage all week over on WESH 2 at noon, 4 and 5. And a lot of information comes out of these conferences. So exciting to see what we can take with us into the hurricane season, which is now less than 3 months away.
Yeah, June 1st is the official beginning, but I mean, we've already seen things develop in May in 2020, 21, 22. Yeah. I don't think anything developed last year, but for almost 5 straight years, we had something develop in May. So just something to keep in mind, but thankfully we're not tracking anything in the tropics. So we're just going to focus on our forecast for today. Locally, we are waking up to bright, beautiful sunshine. For our coast, a little bit more cloud cover, especially from this viewpoint out along the Vehicle Assembly Building, the Space Coast. So a little bit more clouds there. Overall, though, not too bad. 70 degrees at the moment in Titusville, 72 in Melbourne, almost 70 degrees in Daytona Beach, 68 degrees in New Smyrna Beach, and 67 degrees here in Orlando. Winds at the moment are out of the southeast around 10 miles per hour. Later today, they'll pick up around 15 miles per hour. So that's going to usher in warm air for our inland spots. As temperatures reach the middle 80s, coastal locations today will reach the upper 70s. But everyone by 3, 4, and 5 will be completely dry. Again, Friday afternoon, it'll be the coolest day of the next 76 degrees. Saturday morning, we're waking up in the 40s and 50s with highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. Megan, good morning.
Good morning, Kellyanne. Checking back in on I-75. If you've been tuning in all morning, there's been a crash I've been monitoring here in Sumter County in Bushnell. Almost clear now, just off onto the shoulder here. Been going on 5 hours since crews been working to clear this. So still some delays moving through the area on the northbound side, approaching County Road 476. But it is almost clear this morning. So good news if you're heading that way. The traffic should slowly be starting to improve. Our chopper up and cruising live here over I-4. No other big traffic issues for your Tuesday morning drive heading to those theme parks. Those roads are clear for your commutes, and those travel times are pretty much on par with what we see at this hour of the morning. I-4 westbound from Maitland to the 408, we're at 10 minutes. Longwood to Colonial, we're at 16 minutes. Also some small delays from Lake Mary Boulevard to Lee Road. We're sitting there at 12 minutes.
There is a huge need right now for people to adopt pets from our local shelters. Lake County Animal Services has 168 dogs in their care right now. This is putting them at critical capacity. They are urging everyone maybe to consider adopting a dog or to help them reunite some of these lost dogs with their owners. And Sumter County is having an Easter-themed adoption extravaganza starting tomorrow afternoon. You can meet some of the dogs and the cats that are available for adoption. If you cannot adopt one of these animals, fostering is also an option to help the shelter clear out some of the space. All adopted animals will be vaccinated, spayed, neutered, and microchipped.
Parents can swing by the Oviedo Police Department tomorrow to make sure their child's car seat is installed the right way. 4 out of 5 car seats are not used correctly, and of course the type of the car seat depends on your child's needs in that stage of life, so a great resource to take advantage of.
Local, live, late breaking. This is a WESH 2 News update.
Good morning, I'm Sana Kadang. It is 8:26. The Osceola County School District is changing how it notifies parents when their kids don't show up to school. For high school, calls will start going out at 9 a.m. after teachers take attendance in first period, and then again in the afternoon at 3:45 for the other class periods. In elementary school, attendance calls will start going out at 10, and then at 11, calls will go out for middle schools and K-8 campuses. This new policy is now in effect. Megan, good morning. How are we looking?
Good morning, Sonica. Traffic looking good right now, especially in the downtown Orlando area. No crashes along I-4 to worry about this morning, and just the typical delays we see around this hour, especially traveling westbound towards the 408 interchange. But you can see smooth sailing, lots of sunshine. Still monitoring some delays, though, in Sumter County. I-75 in Bushnell approaching County Road 476 from a crash earlier, still working to clear most of those lanes back open. And Kellyanne, as I mentioned, seeing a lot of sunshine today.
Beautiful start to our day with temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Later on this afternoon, we'll warm up into the upper 70s along our coast. Inland locations, middle 80s, which will be well above our averages of the low 80s. We'll also have plenty of sunshine inland, a few more clouds along our coast, but overall dry across central Florida. Then tomorrow, we have a 20% chance of showers, up to 50% on Thursday as our next cold front swings in.
A story that'll have you scratching your head. One man found a way to board a plane without his own ticket. What he did to fool gate agents into letting him onto a flight.
Thank you, Central Florida.
For making WESH 2 News on CW18, number 1 at 10.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News Sunrise on CW18 starts now.
Good morning. Thanks for staying with us here on CW18. I'm Sana Kadange.
And I'm Sheldon Dutez. We are off to a very nice start this morning, but it is getting hot.
Yeah, we're going to warm up very quickly here. Meteorologist Kellyanne Class joining us now. And we're also talking about some rain this week.
Yeah, and thankfully today we are not going to see any rainfall, but later on this week there will be an increase in those rain chances. Out the door right now as we take a look at our Space Coast, we have mostly cloudy conditions from this viewpoint. Thankfully, no rain, but some cloud cover and temperatures in the 60s and 70s. A little bit cooler out in Marion County this morning with the temperature of 62 in Ocala. So a few clouds along our Space Coast. Rest of Central Florida waking up to mostly clear conditions and a breezy wind picking up out of the southeast at around 10 miles per hour. Today, that wind will pick up around 10 to 15 miles per hour, ushering in temperatures in the 80s inland. Coastal locations upper 70s with a few low 80s. Then we track rain and cooler air. We'll have more of those details in a few minutes. First, though, let's get over to Megan with a check on the roads.
Kelly, good morning. I'm tracking some slowdowns right now in Osceola County along I-4, impacting those eastbound travelers here approaching World Center Drive. You can see here those stop-and-go traffic, especially in this area traveling towards Celebration. There's also a lot of construction happening here off onto the shoulder, so keep that in mind. Travel slower through those construction zones. No crashes, though, right now along I-4. Taking a look at those wait times at Orlando International Airport for TSA. Looking good right now for gates 1 through 59. We're at 9 minutes. 70 to 129. We're at less than 16 minutes. Sheldon.
All right, we do want to get back to that breaking news from Baltimore, where crews are still searching for survivors after this bridge collapsed. This is the Francis Scott Key Bridge. It connects multiple neighborhoods in Baltimore and connects to the Beltway. At around 1:30 this morning, it collapsed after a large container ship hit one of the pylons. Now, sonar did detect several vehicles that fell into the chilly water there. Rescuers pulled 2 people out. One of them is at the hospital right now getting treatment. At last check, the water temperature was about 47 degrees. Now, one person who lives just south of that bridge says he felt the collapse from his bedroom.
We were awakened with what appeared to be an earthquake and a long rolling sound of thunder. Wow. So we woke up and literally we can look right out of our bedroom window and see the Key Bridge. But I couldn't see anything because of the darkness.
Governor has declared a state of emergency in that state, and we are staying on top of this story all morning long as the rescue and recovery efforts continue. Another update's expected within the hour as well.
Today, the Orange County Commission will decide on Disney's affordable housing proposal.
Yeah, WESH 2's Bob Hazen is in the studio this morning. And Bob, this project will have more than 1,000 units just west of Disney.
Yeah, Horizon West is the area there, and it's a fast-growing part of Orange County. A lot of people who live there, though, say this plan is too much.
Sometimes it's hard to find a spot out there, so we'll have to see what happens. All right, Orange County wants to help prevent fentanyl overdoses. The county will give fentanyl test strips to different people who will then hand them out across the community. Project Opioid, for example, is targeting the downtown bar scene. And here's how these would work. You can crush the pills and use the strips to test them to make sure that the pill you're taking isn't laced. The DEA says 7 out of every 10 pills that they find have fentanyl in them. That is alarming. Well, a mad dash across one of the busiest cities in Europe with trays full of food and drinks.
Yeah, it really puts the fast in fast service. The friendly competition in Paris known as the running of the waiters. A state of emergency is now in place in Maryland after a cargo ship crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. This was very early this morning at 1:30 a.m., causing that bridge to just completely collapse. Right now, people have been rescued so far. An active search and rescue operation is underway right now by multiple agencies in the area as investigators also work to figure out what exactly caused that cargo ship to crash into one of the support beams of the bridge. Keep in mind, while all of these search and rescue efforts are ongoing, the water temperature is about 47 degrees, and that's causing some concern for the rescue divers in the area. The White House is also closely monitoring the situation here as sonar has detected vehicles submerged in the water. Just awful situation there. We've been following all morning long and will continue to do so.
And eerily reminiscent of a very similar situation that happened in Tampa with the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, where a ship crashed into that bridge and sent some of those vehicles into the water. There's lots of questions with this. Of course, we're working to get answers throughout the day, but not the news anybody wants to wake up to this morning.
Listen, I was about to say that is a competition I would like to see in the Olympics, but we do have fast walking in the Olympics. That
is a sport.
Yeah.
So we got to see how things shake out there.
Yeah, but kudos to these folks for fast walking while holding something.
Yes, an added twist to it. Yeah, not dropping even one sip of that water. Very impressive.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about the forecast because we've got a lot going on this week. Things are warming up, but it's sort of a give and take sort of situation because we've got some showers too.
Yeah, and you know, last week for spring break, we had some showers that kind of lingered throughout the day, right? Well, the showers that we're expecting tomorrow and Thursday aren't going to linger all day, so it's not going to be a complete washout. It's just all about the timing and where you are located if you'll see a little bit more shower activity or none at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's that. Out the door right now, bright sunshine as we take a look outside in Daytona Beach. There's really not a lot of cloud cover, but despite that sun, we're still hovering in the upper 60s. For many of us, we're still in the 60s as well, with the exception of parts of Brevard County in the low 70s, including Titusville and Melbourne. Now this afternoon, our wind's going to pick up out of the south-southeast around 10 to 15 miles per hour. That'll warm our inland spots into the middle 80s, but our coastal locations will be cooler with temperatures reaching the upper 70s to low 80s. Then looking ahead to the weekend, we're completely dry as high pressure moves in, which is great for Easter Sunday. Now Saturday we'll have a temperature of 80 degrees, plenty of sunshine. Sunday even warmer with the temperature of 83. So again, just a few isolated showers west of the city tomorrow afternoon and evening, and then Thursday morning and early afternoon we'll be looking at scattered rain with a few thunderstorms clearing out by the evening. Plenty of sunshine as high temperatures to the middle 70s. Megan, good morning.
Good morning, Kellyanne. Traffic is looking the best it's looked all morning. No big issues for your right now. So a good time to head out the door. This is looking live at I-4 in Osceola County. This is close to Champions Gate. Just some small slowdowns here on heading towards State Road 429 and westbound into Polk County. No delays here. So do want to give you a check-in on those travel times. I-4 westbound from Lake Mary Boulevard to Lee Road, we're at 12 minutes. John Young Parkway to Colonial, we're at 9 minutes. Eastbound US 27 to the Beach Line, we're seeing the biggest delays there at 57 minutes.
You're going to be sitting in that stretch. All right, Megan, thank you. More money from the government will improve air traffic control at Kissimmee Gateway Airport. Congressman Darren Soto announced a $1 million grant from the FAA. It'll be used to modernize the air traffic control tower. The new tower will also be taller, increasing the eye height from 43 feet to 85 feet.
Sneakerheads may have a hard time finding some Nikes.
The company is purposely going to make it difficult for you. And that is because Nike wants to slash supply of its Air Force One and Pegasus shoes in order to boost demand and prices. The goal is to prevent discounting those shoes and making room for its newer lines. Growth has slowed for some of its products, and stores have been promoting the shoes to clear inventory. Nike slashed its revenue outlook earlier this year and cut 1,700 jobs, looking to trim $2 billion in costs over the next 3 years. Makes me feel like maybe I should clean up my Air Force Ones that are currently white and scuffed.
They have been popular for so long.
Yeah, there's a staple.
They're timeless. Yeah.
They go with any outfit. And my goodness, when you're in Europe, it's all Air Force Ones or Air Maxes wherever you go.
I like the Air Max better, but yes.
To each his own. We'll be right back with another update on weather and traffic.
And then stick around for a whole new hour of WESH 2 News Sunrise with Jason and Meredith coming up here at 9 o'clock.
Local, live, late breaking. This is a WESH 2 News update.
Good morning. I'm Sheldon Dutez. It is 8:56. Orange County leaders will vote today on whether to spend more than $50,000 to cover the One Pulse Foundation's bills. Now, that money will pay off the property taxes on a warehouse that was supposed to be turned into a museum to honor the 49 men and women who died in that nightclub shooting. The One Pulse Foundation dissolved and they ran out of money. Megan.
Sheldon, I'm still keeping my eye on the crash right now along Conroy Road. This is at Jones Road. Some small delays in this area, nothing major. This is just off of the beach line. So I did want to mention it if you're heading that way this morning. I-4, though, is looking great if you're heading out the door right now on this Tuesday. This is a live look from our tower camera at Lee Road, looking up towards Maitland. No big delays this morning. Not seeing a need for those express lanes. And Kellyanne, for the most part, those roads nice and dry.
Yeah, today we're actually going to have a dry day today, but it will be warm outside. So if you don't like the middle 80s, well, our inland spots are going to be unseasonably warm. Temperatures out the door at the moment into the 60s and 70s with highs inland in the 84 to 86 degree range. Coastal locations just slightly cooler into the upper 70s and low 80s. We'll have plenty of sunshine for the rest of the day ahead. Threat of rainfall, which is great for our beach forecast, but do keep in mind we have rough surf and a high risk of rip currents. Tomorrow morning we'll wake up to some clouds, temperatures into the 60s, and then tomorrow afternoon we're in the 80s all around with a 20% chance of rain and a few thunderstorms. Rain increases Thursday morning as our next cold front swings in.